Ooh, we are out here in llaʔuukʷiʔatḥ territory at the mouth of hiłsyaqαλλis, also known as the Tranquil River, doing fish surveys to assess populations of juvenile salmon. And above the water here, this estuary looks fairly healthy with different sedges, grasses, and trees all growing. But under the water, it's a totally different story. See, back in the 60s to the 80s, this area was a log sort for timber coming out of the valley upriver, where tens of thousands of felled trees were staged and boomed before being shipped elsewhere to be milled. And in the process, lots of the bark of these trees was worn off, collecting in massive amounts at the bottom of the estuary. Now, one of the most sought after trees in this watershed was Western Redcedar, or thujaplicata, which are prized for their rot-resistant and antifungal properties, which it gets from a volatile oil in the wood that gives it that characteristic sweet cedar aroma, thujaplicin. And under normal conditions in a watershed, trace amounts of thujaplicin wouldn't cause much harm, but all these long-lasting bark shavings create an unnatural concentration of it, which can be toxic to certain species like coho salmon fry. Now, estuaries like this are important breeding grounds for young salmon, and the presence of this volatile oil in high concentrations makes it more difficult for them to survive, while the sheer volume of disregarded bark acts as a mulch under the water that inhibits the growth of native aquatic species of eelgrass and seaweeds that create habitat, and when it does decay, it creates anoxic zones that nothing can live in. This is just one small example of an estuary that's facing lasting impacts from industrial logging among the hundreds that exist along our coastline, creating not only a challenging restoration project, but an issue of life or death for recovering salmon populations in the Pacific.